Once upon a time, in a small, vibrant Caribbean village nestled between lush green hills and the sparkling blue sea, there lived a young woman named Sandra. Sandra was known for her carefree attitude, often putting off important tasks and spending her days lounging under the large Bombay mango tree in her backyard, chatting with friends and daydreaming about the future. Despite the constant encouragement from her family and neighbors to use her time wisely, Sandra never truly understood its value. Most of her school assignments were left until the very last moment. She lacked motivation and adopted a mindset of procrastination. One breezy afternoon, excitement filled the air as word spread through the village. Granny Edith had returned from England after more than 25 years. She had been part of the windrush generation, being one of many West Indian and Commonwealth citizens who had left their homeland to work in the United Kingdom after World War II. Having spent decades in a world where time was rigidly respected and efficiency was key, Granny Edith was disciplined and carried with her a wealth of experience and wisdom. Curious and eager to see her grandmother alone, Sandra made her way to Granny Edith's small, modest cottage, where the scent of freshly baked coconut bread and simmering oxtail filled the air. She found her sitting on the back veranda, rocking gently in her swing, gazing out at the lush sugar cane field, whose border was no more than 500 yards from her fence. With a hesitant smile, Sandra embraced her grandmother and said, "Granny, everyone says you've learned so much living in England. Everybody speaks of the many stories you've shared with them about your life in Leeds. Can you teach me how to make the most of my life? Many times, I feel like an observer in my own life, just going with the flow." Granny Edith chuckled, motioning for Sandra to sit beside her. She reached into the side pouch of her sewing bag and pulled out an old pocket watch. "This watch," she said, holding it up, "has been with me since I first boarded the passenger boat for England. My father, your great-grandfather, gave me the watch, which he had treasured for years. It was his way of instilling in me the need to be diligent, disciplined, and punctual in my new home country. My father was so right. Rain or shine, snow or sleet, you were expected to show up for work on time. No questions asked. Time moves differently there, my child. Every minute counts. If you waste it, you never get it back. It is gone forever." Sandra took the old watch in her hand, its weight unfamiliar yet significant. She watched the second hand ticking steadily forward with Swiss-type precision. Granny Edith continued, "Imagine every tick of this watch is an opportunity. Every time you say, 'I'll do it later,' another second slips away, gone forever. In England, I had to wake up before sunrise, catch the bus on time, and punch in at work at the exact hour. If I was late, I lost my job. There was no soon come or laid-back mentality. I learned quickly that time waits for no one." Sandra listened intently, for the first time realizing that her carefree ways might be costing her more than she had ever thought. "But Granny," she asked, "how do I change? How do I start valuing time?" Granny Edith smiled, her eyes filled with warmth. "It begins with small steps, my precious kitten. Start by setting goals, things you truly want to achieve. Break them down into little tasks and focus on completing them one by one. Stop putting things off till tomorrow. Tomorrow never comes if you keep pushing it away. Learn to manage your time like you would your money, wisely and with purpose. Sandra nodded, her mind bubbling over with new thoughts. Inspired, she decided to follow her grandmother's advice. She started by organizing her days, setting time aside for work, for learning, and for personal growth. She cut back on idle chatter, spent less time daydreaming, and focused on turning her goals into reality. Weeks turned into months, and Sandra's efforts began to bear fruit. She completed projects she had abandoned, learned new skills, and even started helping others in the village to become more disciplined with their time. The villagers noticed the change in Sandra and were amazed at the transformation. No longer was she the girl who wasted her days away. She had become a woman of purpose and determination. But Sandra did not stop there. Her newfound discipline propelled her beyond the boundaries of the small village. With Granny Edith's wisdom as her foundation, she pursued higher education in business administration, specializing in industrial efficiency and labor productivity. She became an influential figure in the Caribbean's growing manufacturing sector, leading companies to heightened levels of productivity and output, and setting new benchmarks for efficiency. Her professional reputation spread across the region. Government and private sector leaders sought her expertise in optimizing factory operations, reducing waste, and improving output without compromising worker welfare. Sandra's approach was holistic. She understood that productivity was not just about speed, but about intelligent processes and valuing the workforce. Her reputation extended beyond the Caribbean, drawing the attention of global organizations focused on labor productivity and industrial efficiency. She was invited to speak at international conferences in North America and Europe, where her insights on balancing Caribbean workplace culture with global standards were highly respected. International organizations renowned for labor, productivity, and standardization frequently sought her input in developing labor and production standards and related policies. Sandra's legacy extended beyond boardrooms and factories. She authored a groundbreaking textbook on efficiency-based productivity in the workplace, which became widely used by major universities, employers' organizations, and trade unions in the Caribbean, North America, and Europe. Her management consultancy was celebrated for blending academic rigor with real-world practicality, making it an essential resource for students and professionals alike. Despite her international recognition, Sandra never forgot her roots. She frequently returned to her seaside Caribbean village, sitting with Granny Edith in her den, reminiscing about the lessons of time. She often told young people in the village, "It all started with a conversation on this veranda with my grandmother's wisdom and an old priceless pocket watch." Years passed, and Sandra grew older. She became known throughout the Caribbean as a leader in business efficiency, a woman whose name was synonymous with productivity and purpose. Yet the core of her success was something deeply simple: the lesson she had learned from Granny Edith. that time is a priceless treasure, one that must be used wisely. Sandra's story spread beyond the village, inspiring countless individuals to rethink their relationship with time. People came to understand that time was not just a convenience, but a resource, one that needed to be protected, cherished, and put to good use. And so, under the watchful wisdom of Granny Edith and the transformed life of Sandra, the village thrived, carrying forward the lesson that time, when valued and respected, has the power to wonderfully shape destinies in ways we could never imagine. Tell us what you think of this video. We would love to hear your thoughts about how you value time and what works best for you in managing your time efficiently. If you enjoyed the video, please hit like and subscribe.